Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jila Prabhupada. Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parasacharya Astotarasa Śrīmad Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Yantra Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, Shri Guru Gauranga Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today morning we are reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 1. The Supreme Lord is equal to everyone. Text number 36. Shri Narada Vacha. Ekada Brahmana Putra Ekada Brahmana Putra Vishnu Lokam Yadrichaya Vishnu Lokam Yadrichaya Sanandanadayo Jagmush Janandanadayo Jagmush Charanto Bhuvanatrayam Charanto Bhuvanatrayam Shri Narada Vacha Ekada Brahmana Putra Vishnu Lokam Yadrichaya Sanandanadayo Jagmush Charanto Bhuvanotrayam Shri Narada Vacha Ekada Putra Vishnu Lokam Yadrichaya Nandanadayo Jagmus Charanto Bhuvanataya Shri Narada Vacha Ekada Brahmana Putra Vishnu Lokam Yadrichaya Janandanadayo Jagmush Charanto Bhuvanotrayam Vivada Vacha Ekada Brahmana Putra Vishnu Lokam Yadrichaya Vishnu Lokam Yadrichaya Janandanadayo Jagmus Charan Matajis Shri Narada Vacha Ekada Brahmana Putra Vishnu Lokam Yadrichaya Sanandanadayo Jagmus Jaranto Bhuvanatrayam Shri Narada Vacha Ekada Brahmana Putra Vishnu Lokam Yadrichaya Janandanadayo Jagmus Charanto Bhuvanotrayam Shri Narada Vacha Ekada Brahmana Putra Vishnu Lokam Yadrichaya Janandanadayo Jagmus Charanto Bhuvanotrayam. What word meaning? Sri Narada Vacha. Sri Narada Muni said, Ekada, once upon a time, Brahmanaha of Lord Brahma, Putra, the sons, Vishnu, of Lord Vishnu, Lokam, the planet, Yadrichaya, by chance, Sanandana Dayaha, Sanandana and the others, Jagmuhu, went, Charanta, traveling about, Bhuvanatrayam, the three worlds. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. The great saint Narada said, once upon a time, when the four sons of Lord Brahma, named Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana, and Sanat Kumara, were wandering throughout the three worlds, they came by chance to Vishnu Loka. We'll read the next verse as well. Pancha Sadayana Baha Purvesham Api Purvajaha Dig Vasasha Shishun Matva Dvasto Tan Pratyasedatam. Translation. Although these four great sages were older than Brahma's other sons like Marichi, they appeared like small naked children, only 5 or 6 years old. When Jaya and Vijaya saw them trying to enter Vaikuntha Loka, these two gatekeepers, thinking them ordinary children, forbade them to enter. Purport. In this regard, Srila Madhvacharya says in his Tantra Sara, Dvastava iti anenadikara satvam uktam. Adhikara stitaschaiva vimuktascha dvita janaha Vishnu loka stitastesham varasapadi yoginaha Adhikara stitam muktim niyatam prapnuvanti cha Vimukti anantaram tesham varasapadayo nanu Dehandriyashu yuktascha purvam pashyannatar ter yuktaha Api abhimanibis tesham Devahi Swatmatome Yutaha. The purport is that the personal associates of Lord Vishnu in Vaikuntha Loka are always liberated souls. Even if sometimes cursed or blessed, they are always liberated and never contaminated by the material modes of nature. Before their liberation to Vaikuntha Loka, they possessed material bodies, but once they come to Vaikuntha, they no longer have them. Therefore, even if the associates of Lord Vishnu sometimes descend as if cursed, they are always liberated. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Shakshur Unmilitamena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadahmayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahana Raghunathan Vitam Tamsa Jeevam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Seeking the blessings of all assembled Vaishnavas. Let's see today's verse. So here Narada explaining to the question which Yudhishthira Maharaj asked. What kind of great curse could affect even liberated Vishnu's bhaktas, and what sort of person could curse even the Lord's associate? For unflinching devotees of the Lord to fall again in this material world is impossible. I cannot believe this. So he asked this question. So in order to explain, so Sri Narada Muni narrating the pastime which we had seen in 3rd canto. So here the devotees of the Lord, the personal associates or the great devotees of the Lord are always liberated. So they are always, they are Jivan Muktas. So if you see in Nectar of Devotion, they explain about different kind of happiness. So one happiness is that we get out of sense gratification. Then they talk about happiness which is from practicing yogi siddhis or yogic mystic perfections, just trying to control the material nature. And even the scientists are trying that to acquire whatever their siddhis are. And then they talk about another kind of happiness, which is Brahmananda, or getting from impersonal liberation. And all these happiness they're deriding because they are temporary in nature. Even the great Mayavadis or the impersonalists, even though their goal is to go beyond this material realm, to be transcendentalist, but sometimes they come back to the material platform to do some philanthropic work where they get some fame or name or some kind of reciprocation, and they find happiness from that. Why do they do that if their goal is something beyond this material? But the devotees who are in devotional service, they are experiencing some kind of happiness. That's because they are placed in the right constitutional position as a servant or to serve the Supreme Lord. We are looking for this kind of relationship. So when a devotee is in performing devotional service, he is overwhelmed by the bliss of devotional service. So in Prabhupada they actually explained that it's like the waves. If someone is standing in a beach shore or they're constantly hit by the waves. It's like kind of some flickering happiness. So we cannot stop desiring. So that is not our process, that one should kill his desire. That's not possible. Only a dead body doesn't have any desire. So we can't engage in sense gratification because that will lead to suffering at the end of the day. Because it has a beginning and end here. So then a devotee may be not disturbed because when he experiences the ocean, the wave from the ocean, which is like big, suppose you are standing in the waves in the ocean and you are constantly disturbed. Imagine you experience a tsunami wave. When you see the tsunami, you are no more disturbed. You find this is like. So imagine like kind of the wave you are. You're surfing in the wave of tsunami. For you, it's like feel like these waves are petty. We feel like very insignificant, or you feel like this is not. I'm not interested, because you already experienced something higher. So you're no more interested in the lower, right? So when a devotee is performing devotional service, he is already in a liberated platform. Now that answers the question whether the devotee is in this material world or the spiritual world, doesn't matter, because he is already doing the service. Even the soul, even when we liberated or when we go back home Godhead, we're not going to be sitting idle and doing nothing. We're going to do the same service which is available here. So that makes that point that we explained in the purport, that a person who is already engaging in devotional service is no more on the material platform, he is on a liberated state. Now, here we see there is a classification, like in the previous canto, we pretty much see there's a two type of devotional service. One is mixed and pure, right? It's like the previous canto is the chest of the Lord, which is very close to him. So in order to get close to Krishna, one has to elevate or go to the next level, which is pure devotional service. This pure devotional service is see, everyone can perform devotional service. But then there are different level. Either the practitioner on objectively level or the subjective also. Sometimes we come across these three type of devotees: Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama. And then we see also the stages of bhakti, which is starting from Shraddha to Prema. So this classification is there to make us help to go forward. And also it will help us to understand how we can respect, how we can deal with such Vaishnavas. So the chapter, if you see, Supreme Lord is equal to everyone. Now, when we are in a preaching movement, this question is asked from the starting level to the pure devotee. If you see, Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking this question. And in fact, Parishit Maharaj also asking this question in this chapter. So, it's like kind of a family question. Parishit Maharaj is asking. Now, Parishit Maharaj is asking, I know Krishna is, neutral, but why did he side with Indra? Why did he, I can't understand. Can you explain? Now, this is more interesting, Yudhishthira Maharaj question. Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking, Krishna actually killed Shishupal, but Shishupal, we saw, Shishupal merged into Krishna. Now, why Krishna is partial to certain demon only? We see the case of Vena, where he didn't get. Now, that's partiality. Why Krishna is partial to demons? That is Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking question. Now, Parishit Maharaj is asking question, why Krishna is partial to demigods? And then if you see in our preaching, one of the series we do is, why bad things happen to good people? We try to explain. So people actually think, oh, this is unfair. You see all this, difference. God does not exist. So people get, bewildered by this. They cannot put into head why there is certain differences there. So one has to understand, even the first verse, when Parikshit Maharaj asked this question, Prabhupada explained the Bhagavad Gita verse where Krishna is equal to all. But the difference is, Krishna is equal to all, but his reciprocation is not equal. One has to understand. The reciprocation of the Lord and the devotee, that what makes it as a personal movement. We say this is a personal movement, we are person, but we reciprocate according to what, we have a relationship. We reciprocate according to that person, how we are connected. It's a very natural thing. So Prabhupada gives example that a person can be very charitable, but then when it comes to his own son, his reciprocation is different, right? Like, we serve prasadam. Suppose, some that we are serving, we are equal. We are serving prasadam, everyone. Suppose if I give a sweet to a person, one may, why you are giving sweet to that person? We may say, yeah, that person's birthday today. Or he has sponsored the feast today, so we have just given some Mahaprasad. Oh, okay. So people want to know why you are, acting in different way. So we have to understand that even though the Lord is very equal, He is like the clouds. He is pouring rain everywhere. He is like the sun. He is spreading the rays everywhere. But when it comes to reciprocation, ye yatamam prapadyante, Krishna says, as you approach me, I avoid you accordingly. So that is the main point we have to understand. So Krishna is reciprocation. Then why someone is going through this suffering? So this is the arrangement of the material energy. The four Kumaras are going to Vaikunta. They're trying to enter. They entered all the 6 gates. Then the 7th gate is there. They're trying to enter. And they were checked by Jai Vijay. Now their argument is, the Lord, the Vishnu or Krishna is equal to all. He doesn't have enemy. He doesn't have enemy. Why you are stopping us? Do you think we are enemy? This is why, because then they say, now you are differentiating, this person is good, this person is bad, now you are fit for material world. Because the moment we are in the material world means we have to have this duality. Without duality, one cannot suffer. Without duality, there is no question of suffering. If we are suffering, then we are identifying with dualities. Yes, this is good, this is bad. This person is giving pleasure to me. This person is chastising me. So then I have to go through this, whole subtle drama, that depression, this, so many worries, because we are trying to identify with the duality, which is the very nature of the material energy. Now the four Kumaras are telling, you are distinguishing, okay, I am good, you are bad. Okay, now you are ready for material world. You have to go there. You are not fit for Vaikunta. So that's a main thing that, okay, fine, you come. So this is what explained by Narada Muni to Yudhishthira Maharaj, that even though the spirit soul has nothing to do with the material world, but because it is covered by the external energy. So Krishna explains the 2 kinds of energy in 7th chapter. One is inferior. So we talk about the inferior energy, which is the earth, water, fire, air, ether, everything. And then he explains there is one more energy which is superior. The moment we hear that we are superior, there is some kind of false ego, it's like, oh, I am superior. And then you are trying to control this inferior energy. But then, down the few verses, Krishna says, Deivi Yeshu Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Maam Yevayi Prapadyante Mayam Etam Tarantite. Yes, you are superior energy, this is inferior energy, but this inferior energy is divine energy because this is connected with me. So even though one may feel that we want to control, the moment we want to lord over the material nature, that is the contract and that is the glue which make you stick to this material world. And Krishna is saying this is divine energy. And interestingly, Krishna again explains what is that verse? Mahatmanastu mam partha Deivim prakriti mashrita. Again Krishna says this internal energy also divine energy, this is mine. So both these energies are Krishna. So when Krishna is like the perfect electrician, he can convert the electricity into cooling, and the same energy he can convert into heating also. So these both the energies are acting. Mayadakshena prakrite suyate sa characharam. That all this multifarious energy you see, that all operating under my will. Not even a single grass will move without the will of the Lord, we should understand. So then, the Lord is asking, okay, the devotee, I have certain things to do, and now I am putting you in this situation. Now the devotee, his whole existence is service. So we have the famous verse, whether you put in the hell or heaven, all I want is service. Na janam, na dhanam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisa kame, mama janmani janmanisware, bhavatar bhakti aituki. I don't want anything, all I want is service. Now that actually glorifies the devotee. Because the Lord is saying, okay, I am going to make you a demon. And you are going to act like that. But this is all arrangement of me. Once you've done, you will come to me. Devotees say, what is the problem? No problem, I will do. You want me to act? Okay. You want me to act like a, even Srila Prabhupada, when he was traveling, he's saying, I am just like a puppet. Whatever you make me dance, I will dance. Whatever you ask me to do, I will do. So this is the classic difference. Because we are not affected by the result of the activity. When the materialistic arrangement is, they are fruitive mentality. I am only interested in the result, I am not interested in the activity. If I do certain things, if I get benefit, yes, I will sign up for this. But if not getting anything interest for me or for my family or for my extended sense gratification, then I am not interested in this. Right? But then for a devotee, he is not bothered by the result because he is working for the Lord. It's like a company. Right? You go to the company, you do your job, you're least bothered about how the company going up or down, as long as you get the salary. Right? You're not worried, the stock market is crashing, or the company is getting more money. You don't get anything. As long as you get salary, you are not bothered, because at the end of the day, you get the salary. Similarly, a devotee is not bothered about the end of the result, because as long as he is doing the service, he gets the mercy. And this is the actual makes that person to, how does a person come under the internal energy? He has to get the mercy of Krishna and devotees. When a person is getting in the mercy of Krishna and devotees, then he is coming under as a Mahatma. He is not interested in own sense gratification. This is one of the definition of Mahatma, that he is only interested in satisfying the senses of Krishna. If a person is interested in satisfying the senses of Krishna, then that person is a Mahatma. So we are only interested in service, and then when we do the service, we already got the mercy, and we don't know whether what is the result, what is the affection. We have to do our service, at least dutifully. So here, then the energy, even though it's, and Krishna says, okay, fine, it's acting. So our least is, even though the modes of passion, ignorance and goodness is acting, at least come to the platform of goodness. Why? So it's easy for us to transcend. Krishna recommends that, at least come to this platform of goodness. And obviously, the demigods are in the platform of goodness. And no wonder why Krishna is favoring them. Because they at least accept the authority of Krishna. Yes, would like to, even though they are not pure devotees, but at least they are accepting the scriptures, accepting the words of Krishna, accepting as authority as Krishna. That's a big difference. So, why then Narada Muni explaining, this is the nature of the Lord. The Lord, He is not, because He does not feel extra pleasure when offered nice prayers by the devotee. Although the devotee benefits by offering prayers to the Lord. And similarly, the Lord is very kind to His so-called enemy, because one who always thinks of the personality of Godhead as an enemy also benefits, although he thinks of the Lord adversely. If a conditioned soul thinking of the Lord as an enemy or a friend, some or other becomes attached to the Lord, he receives great benefit. See, the Lord is transcendental. He is appearing with His internal energy. He is not affected someone is glorifying or someone is defaming or chastising. In one of the Prabhupada, I think Prabhupada writes in 2-3 verses back, if someone say, for example, whenever the Lord punishes persons like demon, however, such punishment is made for good of the conditioned soul. The conditioned soul, being envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, may accuse him, saying, Krishna is bad, Krishna is a thief, and so on. But Krishna, being kind to all living entities, does not consider such accusation. Instead, he take account of the conditioned soul chanting Krishna, Krishna so many times. And then he explains the Vritasur example he gives. So that, the principle is concentrating one's mind on Krishna. Some or other think of Krishna. But of course, this definition of pure devotional service comes in handy by Rupa Goswami. Anukulyasya Krishna Anusilanam. Why this word Anukulyasya, or favorable disposition, or favorably performing devotional service? Because one may think that, yes, I am doing service to Krishna, so it could be a default mode that, yes, it has to be favorable. Not really. Incidental activities of some service may not be pure devotional service. Suppose, if it is recommended that one has to fast on Ekadasi. But then, if someone is performing devotional service and then thinking, why this Ekadasi? I have to fast. I have heard also one of the lectures, someone devotee was saying, the worst day of the year is Janmashtami. You know why? Because I have to fast a whole night. So someone may have, or maybe say, suppose for example, one is fasting on Ekadasi and always thinking of when is the break time, when I will eat prasadam. Yes, it is some kind of benefits is there, but it's not pure devotion because he is thinking about his own pleasure or his own, when will I able to satisfy my hunger. Yes, it is recommended as a devotional service, but it is not pure devotional service. So that's why this favorable devotional service is there. So that puts the intention before one's action. In what way we are trying to please Krishna. And then we see here the example of Kamsa, we hear the example of Shishupal. Yeah. They are always thinking of Krishna, but they are always thinking not in a favorable way, in an unfavorable way. So that's why Anukulyasa, favorable disposition of devotional service only to Krishna and his paraphernalia and devotees. Anusilanam, executing devotional service. So that actually helps us to understand. It's like making it very clear. What is our standard? What is our goal? That goal is one has to perform pure devotional service. Okay, what are the characteristics? It has to be favorable, it has to be for Krishna, it has to be unmotivated, which is free from jnana, karma. So it makes us easy. The literatures of the acharyas are like the boat which they left for us so that we can able to cross over these nations. So they are so mercifully have given the path of pure devotional service, which is otherwise impossible. Because it's not only just any like getting rid of all the suffering and everything, but it is a positive. It is not just only telling, okay, fine, we have to free oneself. This is the philosophy of impersonal liberation, that some or other one has to get freedom from the suffering. So then one start become very negative about the whole materialistic situation. Because this is Maya, this is Neti, we have to give up. Very against. And they lose a chance to use everything in the service of Krishna. Because they're thinking these are all going to pull me down, these are all going to make me bad, these are all going to make me stuck into this material world. Their constant meditation is the some or other I want to reject this, some or I want to get out of this, some or other. It's like some person who is really, really having a bad time in the jail, and his constant meditation is some or other I want to get out of jail. But a devotee understands, yes, this is not my place, I want to get out of this prison, but I have a beautiful palace. I know the address of this palace, and I know my master, I know my father, and they are waiting for me. So this becomes, very much. So when we want to go to the house, it is automatically put one outside the jail. But the person who is going out of the jail, if he doesn't know where to go, he will think, at least in the jail I'll get some food. Let me go back to the jail. I'll be a good person. I'll go back into the jail and I'll be a good person. So, see, this is what the problem is, because when someone is very much depressed of this whole materialistic situation, and if they don't know the right place or the right goal, then he'll again fall back where he is. And this is the beauty of the Goswamis. They, in the 6th Goswami Astakam we read, they have saved the conditioned soul from the devouring mouth of liberation. They put liberation so bad. They portrait liberation is so bad, that don't go in that path. It is a dangerous. You can perform bhakti mixed, okay, fine, but don't go to liberation. Like, at least we know what should not be done. At least you know, okay, at least you know what the standard is. At least you know where the bar is. That is the biggest thing in the material world. In any spiritual organization, they are not very clear about where they are going, and they are not able to guide their followers where they have to go. And they are lost completely. At least, when the Shastras, when the scriptures, the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, the literatures of the Goswamis, Bhagavad Gita, and other literatures, this is like the torchlight in the age of Kali, isn't it? It's showing us the path of pure devotional service. It's like, I remember, my college days, when exam come, whether I am studying or not, at least I should know which book to read. So first thing is go to library and get that book which is recommended as a reference book. Studying is a secondary. You study, don't study, that's okay, fine. At least you should know which book to read, right? And then always carry that book with wherever you go. Now I have a friend also who sleeps on that book also. I asked why, night time if suppose I wake up, at least I can. But if we don't study, that's the secondary part. But at least one should know, okay, fine, this book is recommended, okay, keep it with you. So that at least, we are in a much, much safer position. Pure devotional service, one may think, oh, this is a little tough. But I know it is there, it is there with me. It's like a time bomb. So then we should be very much grateful for these great personalities who have actually opened the doorway for the spiritual world. And we are showing us how actually this is beneficial. And this is the most auspicious activity for every living entity. So I'll just stop here. If anyone has any correction, comments, or any question. Sorry, I didn't do much justification for this verse, but whatever is there, Yes. Yeah. It's. Do we have a mic? My God. Yeah.
I'm curious about underlying desire, underlying reason why Jaya came to material world. Because Krishna doesn't give orders, he only fulfills our desires. So what was their desire? So that they were blessed by the Kumaras and they have to come to material world. What was underlying reason for that?
Okay, one of the in the purport before also Prabhupada writes, one of the reason is that the Lord wants to descend into the material world and he wants to perform, he wants to establish religious principle, he wants to protect his devotees and kill his demons, right? So that's the mission of Krishna. He said in Bhagavad Gita that he comes and perform the pastime. So to protect the devotees and kill the demons, he needs some roles to be played. So he said, Jai Vijay, can you play a demon role? So then I can fight with you. Sorry? Oh, they were jumping, they were in ecstasy, they were happy. So that's the whole point, because if someone is asking, for example, the Lord is asking, can you do this service? So for us it's more important to do the service than in what capacity or what position I'm doing the service. Because the end of the day, so all the devotees, we have this 5 primary rasa, secondary rasa. It's not that one is less and one is great. It is the devotee reciprocation, he is feeling full in that. He is feeling ecstasy in that. I am happy to see the Lord to be served in that capacity. So the Lord as a rasagrahi or the perfect reciprocator, he responds exactly the way a devotee wanted the Lord. So that makes him, the Lord, glorious. And by doing the service, it makes the devotee glorious. So yes. Because when the curse happened, if you can read in 3rd canto, the Lord comes and he gives you option. And then he says, you 3 life, you can play a part of a demon and then you come back to me. We said, okay. So, Hare Krishna. Yes, Sivya. Okay. The question is, for the devotee, it doesn't matter whether you serve in the material world or spiritual world, but the question is, the happiness which a soul gets serving the Lord in the material world, is there any difference to the soul serving the Lord in the spiritual world? Is that right? Okay. I don't know, maybe yes and no. Because when the soul is serving the Lord in the material world, he hasn't realized his Swarup, or he hasn't realized his Siddhadeha, or he hasn't realized the spiritual body yet. Of course, he is getting happiness, which is by serving we get the happiness. But then when you are in the spiritual world, you are in a spiritual body, completely spiritual body, and you are fully manifested as Satchit Ananda, as a form, and you are serving the Lord in that capacity. So obviously you are much more experiencing the bliss. And there will be a difference, I guess, because you can say like for example, you are, suppose imagine a glass, right? And your favorite drink. So your favorite drink is there, and in a glass, they give you like 10 ml of the glass, right? And then they give you a glass, full glass of the same juice. Now, there is a difference in quantity of happiness, how much you derive, but then by tasting the favorite juice, you experiencing some happiness. But the level of amount of juice you derive or you get can be different because the level of juice. I don't know if that makes sense to you. You understand? So we keep on serving under the instruction and the bona fide guidance of a spiritual master, right? So engaging in the service of Krishna. And then when we go to a higher stage, then we get, we still serve, we don't stop service. And then we serve in different capacity, in a different body. So these are later stages of bhakti. So right now we are experiencing some happiness by serving Krishna. And then when we continue to do that, we will one day, hopefully by Krishna's mercy, by the devotee's mercy, we can able to serve the Lord in the spiritual world. Yeah? Thank you, Hare Krishna. Yes, Jai Prabhu.
How do we understand the Lord's impartiality on books when we meet different people, on Sankirtan? Some people who are really faithful to Prabhupada's book and they really like what you're saying and they really want to get it, but then sometimes for some reason they just don't take it, either they don't have money or they get distracted or find the friends pulls them away. But then you also meet other people who look really disinterested, but some kind of just maybe from your persuasion or the situation, they just kind of like take the book, but then it doesn't look like they're going to be interested in actually reading the book. So how do you understand that Krishna or the super soul is being impartial in those situations?
See, basically, we are there as an instrument. It is up to the super soul and Krishna and the soul, how they reciprocate. Our thing is, we have to show, we have to give the book. Right? So we just have to... So I did one experiment actually in books. This is a... Don't try this, but... I was distributing books and everything, and then I said, I've heard the lecture. I've heard actually one of the story by Shivaram Swami Maharaj. He wanted to know whether these books are going by just by... So he did a book distribution without speaking a word. And book went actually. The person came, took the book, he said like that, he gave donation and he left like that. So... And I've heard another story also that the person, without anything doing, So what happened in the book distribution, I thought, well, So I gave the book, and I told this person, you open this, I didn't tell anything, this book is there for you. You open any page in the book, and you read a line. If that's convinced you, take this book. If not, you can give it back to me. This person was an IT, he was in Canberra, and then I gave the book. That time I didn't realize. Once he was having the book, then I was like, it is a test on my faith also. Forget about that person taking the book or not, This is a test on my faith also. So I was started praying to the Paramatma. Please, that person going on reading. One page he finished. The next page, he was going on. Then he said, okay, I like to give, but I don't have cash. Then I showed, this is a F-pause here. We can tap. He said, no, there's so many scam going on. I cannot do the tap. Then he said, I said, what else, ATM? He said, okay, come with me. I'm going to Coles, I'll get something and I'll withdraw money and I'll give it to you. So he went to Coles, I waited. And then he went, bought everything and then he got money. And then he gave me the money. He said, okay, thank you, nice book. I said, thank you very much. It was a good experience. So people all they have to do is they come across, somewhere they have to start. By their touching the book or even smiling a devotee. Even, so for example, so many times you have also experienced, a person is completely not interested in the books, but you are absolutely kind to that person. You are very kind to that person. I had this experience. This one person who had the so weird face. He said, he was disgusted. Like yesterday, Divya Prabhu was saying, we had experience. This person just shooed me out and went. After 20 minutes, this person came to me. He said, I'm so sorry. Something happened. I didn't. So what was you doing? What is that? You stop. I said, this is a book, Okay, let us go to the bank. I was like, where this person come and what, he was not interested. Then he came back after 20-30 minutes. He found me. He was searching for me. He found me. And then he said, what he's doing, let us go to the bank. Then he said, okay, what is your story? Tell me your story. I said, yeah, I'm a monk. I'm just doing this. Okay, good. Then he went and withdrew money and gave. So and then he said, okay, fine, thank you. Thank you very much, you're doing good. So we see that sometimes when one time we stop, they're not interested. And then second time some devotee come, they will take a book. Only thing is, the more we are not affected, it is good for us. At the end of the day, we should not be affected by this. That's the more, because our part is, we there in the street, we showing the book. Success. Books are going, it's a bonus. It's like in a company, they'll have a base salary. And then they'll have an incentive. Base salary? Base salary means whether you do a sale or not, you will get the base salary. Any sales, you will get the incentive. So similarly, when you are in the street, you get the base quota. Mercy is confirmed. Mercy is confirmed from there. It's there in your account. Right? Whether that person take a book, it's like an advance, like a extra perks. Extra mercy, that's all. So we just have to be there on the street and show the book, that's it. And then they take the book. So, because everyone on different level, someone is just about to start the journey, someone is already started. So everyone is going through some, time. So we're just there to add a catalyst to their spiritual life, that's all. We're there. When seeing you, seeing a devotee, seeing Bhagavad Gita, having a conversation, having a chat with a devotee, these are all adding up. Of course, we are representing the parampara. We should not take it as, I am making them. That's the biggest ignorance. Because we are just there as a representative, as an instrument. That's all. Yeah? Okay. Anything you want to say, Prabhu?
It's interesting that the form of their service it's interesting that the form of the service of Jai and Vijay was as demons, right? And so a lesson from that is that the external form of somebody's activities may not be as important as their mood of service. And so therefore, to analyse a person's devotional service, it can't be measured by the external characteristics. One has to also look at the internal mood of a person. And because it may not be so easy, but it's an interesting lesson to be learnt from these pastimes. Just a thought. We have to be introspective, not looking at superficialities.